Good day, boxing fans. On the Mammoth 22nd of February card on Saturday in Riyadh, there's going to be big action besides the main event that we'll get to in another video. But there's also the IBF heavyweight champion of the world, Daniel Dubois, who will be defending his heavyweight belt against Joseph Parker, the former WBO titleist. If that's a matchup that interests you, stick around and let's break it down. Both Joseph Parker and Daniel Dubois have made the comeback of ages. Joseph Parker had that knockout loss in a great fight against Joe Joyce, and then him and Andy Lee worked on stuff. He's got a great in-ring marriage there with his trainer Andy Lee. I think the Joseph Parker-Andy Lee combination is very good. Slowly got back in the win column, and then of course capped it off with two big wins over Deontay Wilder, and then getting off a canvas twice to beat Zhilei Zhang. So the former WBO title holder Joseph Parker's stock is high. Even more so is Daniel Dubois. You know, after he lost the title challenge to Alexander Usyk, he was suddenly rejuvenated, and he went from strength to strength. Victories over Jarrell Miller, and then Filip Hrgović, and then knocking out Anthony Joshua. That was the ring's knockout of the year. He became the IBF interim champion against Hrgović. By the time he fought Joshua, he was elevated to full champion as boxing politics go. And now he's facing Joseph Parker. And I think this is a very good fight. It is definitely a potential banana skin for Dynamite Daniel Dubois, because his confidence is at an all-time high. You know, he's almost walking around a foot higher. But Joseph Parker is not to be trifled with. You know, he is a former WBO title holder himself, and you could argue that he's a bit more versatile. Now, Joseph Parker, what I like with him and Andy Lee, he's to me much better at applying strategy. His strategic discipline is much better. He's always been in shape and all those things, and he sticks to a game plan and he overcomes. He's just a little bit more circumspect about when he brawls, when he boxes, and that's what made him keep his cool when he had two rough moments against Zhilei Zhang. That's what made him fight a disciplined fight against Deontay Wilder. And now he's taking on Daniel Dubois. Now, Daniel Dubois, we know what he is. He's a big power puncher. He's got a great jab. He's got a big right hand. He's got a big left hook. He really can punch, and he doesn't seem to get tired anymore. He goes to the head. He goes to the body. He has a steady work rate. He comes forward. He puts you under pressure, and eventually he winds him down. And he winds him down later in the fight as well, as we've seen against Jarrell Miller, as we've seen against Filip Hrgović. And Joshua didn't need the late rounds. The thing that I still don't like about Daniel Dubois is he eats right hands like sweets. He did that against Filip Hrgović. I was worried about that against Anthony Joshua, and he took that out of the equation by getting to the other big puncher, Joshua, first. But right before he knocked out Joshua, you could still see when Joshua let the right hand go, he buckled Daniel Dubois, and then second later, Dubois knocked out Joshua. So he still eats those right hands, and Joseph Parker and Andy Lee will pick up on that. So Daniel Dubois, I think, is not as versatile as Joseph Parker. He fights one way, but that one way is a very hard way to overcome with the confidence and the momentum Dubois now has on him. So for Joseph Parker, he needs to fight in spots, he needs to box, he needs to move around Daniel Dubois and keep him guessing, keep him missing, and try and wear him down into the later rounds. And of course, throw the right hand, because Dubois takes the right hands. Now, if Joseph Parker can do that, if he can survive, if he can keep fighting back, if he can use I think he's a little bit quicker than Daniel Dubois, maybe at least on his feet. And if he can hit and step around and hit and move away and apply the game plan and keep Dubois eating those right hands, he could win this fight. He's a very live dog in this fight, and at some point I was thinking Joseph Parker is going to pull off an upset here. If Daniel Dubois is overconfident, if he's at all lax, Joseph Parker is the kind of guy that's going to stop the Daniel Dubois train. Now you guys must tell me in the comment section, who do you have? Parker, Dubois, how do they win and why do they win? And we can talk about that. But I've got to pick somebody. Now, between of Joseph Parker, I think on that level, on the very top of the heavyweight thing, he can take out guys like Simon Keane and that sort of B, C grade heavyweights easily. But I don't think his right hand is quite the same as Anthony Joshua's. And I don't think Joseph Parker is going to hit Daniel Dubois with 1 or 2 shots and get him out of there. I wonder if he's going to wobble him, if he really's got that power to make Daniel Dubois, you know, go out of there. That's what I wonder about Joseph Parker. And Daniel Dubois seems to be over his stamina issues. And if I think back about on Parker's fight with Joe Joyce, you know, it was a high-paced fight. And eventually Joe Joyce got to him. You know, Parker couldn't move Joyce like Zhang could. Now, I wonder if he can move Daniel Dubois, you know. So I think I'm expecting a very, very good fight. But as I've said, I'm not sure if Joseph Parker can hurt Daniel Dubois badly enough to get him out of there. And Dubois is also going to set a high pace. And I don't know if Parker can box that well that he's going to win enough rounds to get over on the cards. That's what worries me. I think it's going to be an excellent fight. But the other thing about Joseph Parker, if you look at his losses, you know, Anthony Joshua, you know, that was a learning experience. I think he could have done much better there, maybe even win. Dillian White, he had a very good fight there, but he got knocked down against Dillian White. And then, of course, in his other loss against Joe Joyce, Joyce finally got him. So Parker can be hurt, you know, Zhang had him down twice. And so I can see Daniel Dubois hurting Joseph Parker and putting him down. I can definitely see that more, you know. So Parker will need a brilliant strategic fight, and he'll need a high pace, and he'll need to grind Daniel Dubois out of there. Now, he says Daniel Dubois is much of a front runner. If it gets hectic, Dubois will start opting out mentally. He could be right. He could be right. I mean, he had to fight hard against Filip Hrgović. He had to fight hard against Jerome Miller. But never in those fights, even though he ate so many right hands against Hrgović, was Dubois in any serious trouble, you know. So if he's in serious trouble and hurt by Parker, maybe Parker can get the mental ascendancy. But, you know, I think Parker goes down a little bit too easy, as improved as he is. And I think Dubois has got the better power. And for that reason, I'm going to go with Daniel Dubois here to stop Joseph Parker in 10 rounds. So for me, it's Daniel Dubois TKO 10. And that's it from me, guys. Please tell me what you think. And until we see each other again, remember to keep those hands up.